The shooting on 2K25 is very difficult, but not to worry, I have 15 tips and tricks that will make you a better shooter and make shooting much easier for you. The first thing we need to understand is why is shooting so much harder this year? What has changed? Does this sound familiar to you? You're in the park, you make 3 greens in a row, you're feeling it, you time your shot exactly the same on the 4th one, and it is an absolute brick. Let me explain why that is. I want you guys to take a look at this graph from NBA 2K Lab. What you are looking at is they tested a player's first 6 shot attempts with the same jump shot at the exact same speed, and as you can see, the green window moved on each shot attempt, even though it's the same shot timed exactly the same. Okay, well, couldn't we just use our visual cue if the animation is going to change and we're going to get speed ups and slowdowns and we just have to watch our wrists? Yes, that technically is true, but when the RNG kicks in, it's going to slightly, ever so slightly, change the animation speed of your shot, and this is what we think is causing the green window to shift. And because of that, it's going to be almost impossible to visually time your shot perfectly every single time. That is why you need to understand this first tip. This is everything in one: how to RNG manipulate and algorithm hack. I know you're like, whoa, well, I'm just trying to play 2K here. I understand that, trust me, we are all going through your pain, but this is what all of the comp players are doing. And if you watch comp wagers, you will hear people say he's due for one, or he's due for a miss, or the algorithm is on my side. We obviously don't have access to 2K's code, right? But just through trial and error and just playing the game over and over again, we kind of make educated guesses on how it really works. So it's pretty much like 2K doesn't want you to just do one thing. They want you to mix it up. They want you to pass the ball. They want you to go to the paint. They want you to shoot a shot in the mid-range. They don't want you to just do one thing. Is it possible to hit 4 threes in a row? Yes, I have done it a few times. Is it possible to hit 5 or 6 threes in a row? Yes, I have done it a few times as well. But am I going to be able to do that consistently? No, absolutely not. The RNG odds and the algorithm are against me. Later in the video, I'm going to talk about other ways to take advantage of the RNG and the algorithm, but I want to get into our next tip, which is where to find accurate jump shot data. That is NBA2KLab.com. Now on the website, they have tons of free stuff to make you a better player, but in the premium section is all of that jump shot data. They have all the best bases, the releases, the blends. They test everything, including the green windows, the speeds, the make percentages. It's really everything you need to find the perfect jump shot for you. It's only a few dollars a month, and you can use code DIRK for a discount. I'll leave the link in the description. Let's get into the next tip. I want you to go into your controller settings and look at your shot timing profile. Which one is the best one? Which one should you use? Low risk reward has the highest white window, but it has the smallest green window. And even if you time your shot correctly in the green window, you only have like a 50 to 55% chance to make it, even if you time it perfectly. Medium risk reward has a decent white window and a little bigger green window than low risk reward. But even if you time your shot perfectly, you really only have like a 55 to 65% chance to make it. As for high risk reward, this is the best one. This is what all of the best players in the world are using, what all the best shooters in the world are using. It's only a green window. You will not make any whites, but it gives you the highest chance and the highest percentages to make your shots when you time them within the green window. If you're like a terrible, absolutely bad shooter, I would just use low risk reward instead of medium risk reward. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I recommend just going straight to high risk reward. You don't want to practice bad habits relying on whites. The next tip I got for you guys is knowing what is a good shot and when to shoot them. Well, first off, how do you know what's a good shot? You need to go into your customized HUD, go to shot feedback, and make sure your visibility is on all shots, and then make sure you leave these other 4 categories on. This is going to make it so every time you shoot a shot, you will see the coverage and the timing. On every shot you take, you need to look and see what it was, so you're able to learn and understand what truly a good shot is, what's open, what's wide open, what's pressured, what's tight. The contest system in this game is terrible. Even if you don't look like you're open, you probably are. That's why I'm saying you need to practice. Like, all of these shots, are they like, they look like they're kind of open-ish, but they're open because the contest system is terrible. So keep that in mind and start shooting shots with more confidence because you're probably open. For our next tip, you see in the top right that team chemistry bar. This actually gives you a boost the higher it goes. Now, how do I know this? If you go to your player card, go over to teammate chemistry, you see the city right there, and there are all of the boosts that you get as your meter goes up. Prior to making this video, I did have this at 100%, but I was ball hogging going for clips, so it dropped to an 89%. If I want to get it back up to 100, I just have to have a few games in a row of filling up my team chemistry bar. Yes, team chemistry gives you boosts, but I think this is also a way to affect and alter the algorithm and RNG in your favor. I truly think 2K wants to make us pass the ball and be a team, and they want us to get our team chemistry up. So logically, wouldn't it make sense that the higher the team chemistry, the less RNG that we will get, and the game will reward us for playing as a team? Because bro, I swear, as soon as my teammate chemistry is at like 30 to 50%, where I'm not even getting a shooting boost, it is so much easier to shoot. How many times has this happened to you guys where you fry your defender, you get open, you try to wait it out to set your feet to shoot the ball, and it gives you this load up fade? We don't want this, right? We want to stop and shoot the basketball when we get open, right? I would hope so. Doesn't this look a lot better than what you guys just saw? This is quick stopping. Here's how you quick stop. Once you get open and you're ready to shoot the ball, you're going to let go of everything, quickly flick up on your right stick, and then shoot the ball. This has a lot to do with timing. The timing is everything when it comes to quick stops. You literally need to learn this. This is super, super important, or you're never going to be able to get open off of the dribble, and you're not going to be a good shooter, because every shot, even with the bad contest system, is probably going to be contested, or you're going to get a load up or a fade. Please, please learn how to quick stop. It is super important, unless you are just a spot up and are just going to shoot catch and shoot shots. If you guys haven't noticed already, I like to shoot midi fade. This is very broken and very OP, and this is our next tip. Why is this OP? Because as of now, according to our data and testing of the current game, this is the only type of shot that has a proven, statistically, scientifically, whatever, pure green window, which means you can make your midi fades every single time if you timed it perfectly. And I, with my first-hand experience, think it's a lot easier and it's a better way to play if your main way of scoring is midi fading. Obviously, this is the best type of play for twos and it's harder on threes, but if you can, try to shoot those midi fades. And as we all know, the contest system is terrible and it's super, super hard to get any type of contest on a midi fade. So if you are not shooting these, start shooting them. And if you're shooting them a little bit, start shooting them even more. The next tip I got for you guys is once you find a good jump shot, whether that's from me, another YouTuber, NBA 2K Labs, whatever, keep it and practice with it. Do not get frustrated and change it. This tip is to not change your jump shot all the time. You need to find a good one and practice it for like a week at least. Like, okay, maybe not a week, but like you need to shoot like 1,000. Okay, that's too much. Like 200, 300 shots, like a few days, like really try it out and see if you can master and learn the jump shot. And if you're still broken with it, then it's time to switch. But constantly changing is just very bad and you're going to screw up your timing. Here's a great example. Last year on 2K24, I used the same shot for the last 7 months of the game. Put on a good jump shot, stick to it, practice it until you know it perfectly, and then make a decision if you want to keep it or not. The next tip kind of contradicts what I started off this video with, but it is still very important, and that is learning your visual cue, and that kind of goes with don't change your jump shot, but you need to master this because of the speed ups and slowdowns and the load ups and whatever that aren't RNG related, and you'll get bad catches based on pass accuracies, you'll get load ups based on whatever, and if you don't know your visual cue, you're gonna miss a lot of shots. You guys might be asking, Dirk, what's the best way to practice your visual cue? Well, believe it or not, it's in that last sentence, and the word is practice. Go into your my court and just shoot around, see how many shots you can make in a row, and every time you green a shot, pay attention where you released the shoot button visually with where your player is holding the ball. So for example, if your visual cue in the green window is around when the ball is over his head, note that and pay attention so you know what to look for every time you shoot and where and when to release your shoot button. The more you put into anything in life, whether it's 2K, business, your relationship, your health, the gym, whatever, the more you get out. Write it down, whatever, quote it. The more you put in, the more you get out. Practice makes perfect. This next tip right here is 2 tips into 1, and the goal of shooting is to make more shots, right? And if we can consistently get the same-ish timing, I feel like we would be more of a consistent shooter, right? Well, I personally think, and a lot of people think, that the most consistent timing is off of snatchbacks and catch and shoot. And that's why you'll see a lot of players in the park only shoot threes off of snatchbacks and catch and shoots. Now, obviously, if your teammates' pass accuracy is low, your catches are going to be super inconsistent and your timing is going to be awful. But if their pass accuracy is higher and it is a good rating, you're going to get very consistent catches and the timing of your shots are going to be very consistent. Also, it goes back to the team chemistry and the algorithm hacking, where I think 2K and we think 2K wants you to share the ball. So it would only make sense that if they see an opportunity for a potential assist, they're probably gonna give us a slight boost in our make percentages and less RNG. This next tip is about your takeover. I recommend you need to find a takeover that includes your dominant way of scoring. For example, let's say you dunk the ball a lot. You want to pick a takeover that has driving dunk in it along with midi or 3, because every time you dunk, it's gonna make the takeover go up. Your takeover is going to go up a lot slower if your takeover is just to boost the 3, because if you're not hitting 3s, you're not going to get any takeover. But if it's dunking in 3s, every time you dunk the ball, your takeover is going to go up. I personally use the one right here. This increases my midi and my 3 because I like to shoot a lot of midis, which means every time I hit a mid-range shot, my 3-point and my mid-range will get a boost. The next tip is a basic one. It is to turn your shot meter off. You do that here in your customized hub. And why do you turn your shot meter off, you might ask? Because it's going to give you a boost. If you are just starting out on 2K or you are a very bad shooter, no disrespect, start off with your shot meter just to understand how the game works and like how the speed of your shot works. But as soon as you understand the game, take it off. You're gonna make a lot more shots. And I think it's harder to actually time your shot because you have to look at a fast meter rather than just looking at your player and looking at the visual cue. All of the best players in the world have their shot meter off, and it's just the best way to go. Once you're able to turn it off, please. You're gonna thank me later. The next thing I'm gonna show you is the easiest method and the easiest way to beat Lethal Shooter. You can get all 3 of your lethal zones every 3 weeks with this method. The first thing you're gonna do is go into your settings and make sure it is on rookie. And then you're gonna go into your controller settings and put your shot timing profile on real player percentage. So if you have a decently high 3-pointer, it's going to be a lot easier to time and make your jump shots. Yes, you still have to time it, but it is super easy because the real player percentage is on. If you have a lower 3-point rating, this obviously won't work. But before the drill ends, if you know you're gonna lose, you can close app and you can try it again over and over and over again. If it is tied, or if it's like has the chance to be tied going into the last zone, do not take the risk. He is most likely not going to miss that last shot. So just close app and load back up and do it again. And you need to close app before he takes his last shot, or it will save and you cannot do it again. This next tip right here is a great debate going on, button versus rhythm shooting. Well, first off, let's take a look at what the data shows. As you can see, rhythm shooting is way better by a lot. It's not even close. Now, do I use it? No. Are there top players who use it? Yes. Are there top players who do not use it? Yes. If you are a primarily catch and shoot shooter, like you are a spot up, a popper, a lock, I definitely recommend to learning this because your shot timing and your shot speeds and your animations are going to be very consistent. Now, if you are a guard, it is up to you. It is a lot more difficult than a spot up. Now, as for me, eventually I will switch to rhythm shooting. It's just a matter of when. If you guys want the best defensive tips and want to become a lockdown defender, watch that video on screen. You will not regret it. Hope you enjoyed this. Drop a like if you did. GOAT out.